Hey guys, Carl from Scorpion Masqué. Today I'm taking a look at Zombie Teenz Evolution from designer Annick Lobet and publisher Scorpion Masqué. This is a sort of follow-up game to their previous game, Zombie Kids Evolution. Again, a kids family weight sort of legacy cooperative style game in which you're fighting off against zombies as this time teens instead of kids, but it is sort of an evolution, Zombie Teenz Evolution on the original Zombie Kids Evolution sort of co-op crisis management kind of game, adding in a bit more complexity and a bit more sort of decision making into the game. No disclaimer needed on this one, as I did pick it up with my own money, but I do want to point out that I say my own money. This channel, if you don't already know, is sponsored by Noble Knight Games, a wonderful game store in Wisconsin that also has an amazing online presence. And as that, I do get credit to my channel every month that I can use to spend at their store, and I did use credit to pick this up from them. So I do want to say that this video is then basically sort of sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Again, a great game store that also offers a wonderful, wonderful trade-in program. I often use it myself as well, but what that means is not only do they do a great trade-in program that allows you to sort of just make a list of your games, they will pay for shipping, offering either store credit or cash, your choice, but because of this trade-in program, they also have a really wonderful used game and sort of rare collection as well. So definitely head over to check out them. If you do decide to do any shopping at Noble Knight, I do have an affiliate link down below in the description of all of my videos that I do ask you please to make use of when checking out these games on their site, because it does mean I get a little bit of kickback to help continue this channel as well. With all of that out of the way, let's head down to the table to see how this one plays, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. Before we get started, I just want to say that I am filming this video in a different location than normal, so the lighting might be a little bit weird. Also, my son is here, home for the summer with me, so he's going to join me in this playthrough of the game, which means we will be showing off a two-player playthrough of the very first game of Zombie Teenz Evolution. To set up a game of Zombie Teenz Evolution, begin by placing the board out on the table. Next, put out the overrun building tiles and the white die. There's also a black die in the box, but at the beginning of the game, this starts completely blank. I'm assuming things will get placed on that later on in the sort of campaign, but for right now, it won't be used. Next, we're going to take these 4 zombies, placing 3 of them at random at the bottom of the board, and then 1 of them onto the matching manhole cover matching the color of the zombie that we place out. Again, it doesn't matter which one you do, so we'll do that at random. Then taking this deck of event cards, give it a good shuffle, and I'll set these off to the side as well over here. Then to finish setting up the board, I'm going to place out these 4 ingredients crates in the sort of appropriate building, matching the ingredient in the 4 corners of the board. Which means popcorn in the arcade, donut in the police station, a sort of healing vial in the hospital, and a crate with a ketchup bottle printed on it in the burger shop. Then finally, to finish setup, we are going to be choosing one of these 4 characters each. And then because we will be playing with 2 players only, we are going to choose a 3rd character to simply be placed in this center space. But for right now, all 3 of those characters will start in the center space. And normally they would be placed onto standees, standing up like this, but because we can't see them on camera, we will just be laying them down flat on the board for this playthrough. All right, so again, we will be playing with myself using this character right here. This guy here will be our 3rd sort of extra character. And Amata will be playing with this guy here as well. And with that, we are all set up for gameplay. So Zombie Teenz Evolution will play out over an indeterminate number of rounds, taking turns between myself and the other player, my son in this case. At the start of every turn, we will roll this die. And this die has 4 different colored faces on it: purple, green, red, and blue, representing the 4 different locations on the board. And then the 2 other sides of this die are a question mark here and also here. Should we roll any of the 4 colors, If that zombie is not already on the board, they will be spawned on the manhole cover matching that color. And if they are already on the board, they will move one space towards that location. If that zombie should reach the location of the color that it's trying to get to, we will then place out one of these overrun tokens. And you'll notice that the overrun token, in addition to making that space being overrun by zombies, it also adds a trampoline in that location, which means if a zombie in that location should be advanced, or if later a zombie advances into that location, it will jump off of that trampoline, landing in the next clockwise location. And if all 4 of those locations are ever overrun, we will have lost the game. But after we've done that, actually before I continue, if we roll a question mark, you can see here the event cards have a question mark on their back, which means we will simply reveal and resolve the top event card from that deck. After we've either placed a zombie, advanced a zombie, or activated the event card, we will then take our turn. And on our turn, we're going to take 2 actions, either 2 different actions or 2 of the same actions. And the actions that we can do are move, which simply means moving our person 1 space adjacent, crossing a straight dotted line, or attacking a zombie. If we're in the same location as a zombie, we can simply remove it from the board and place it at the end of this row. Or we can pass crates. And the way that passing crates is going to work is, if one person is in a room with a crate, and another person is in the room or in the space adjacent to that location, either person can use an action on their turn to move that crate. So you can pass a crate from yourself to an adjacent person, or you can take a crate from a person to yourself that is adjacent to you. And that's the reason we have this 3rd person here in the center, is that so we don't have to continuously be moving back and forth to move a crate from here to the center. There's always somebody in this center space to accept the crate should we pass it to them. And the way that we win the game is, before all 4 of those spaces are overrun, we manage to get all 4 of the crates into that center space, we will win the game. At least in the case of this first basic game. Because just like Zombie Kids before it, Zombie Teenz Evolution, as it says in the title, is going to evolve. It is sort of a legacy game. We will be placing out stickers, and I'll show you how all of that works in a minute when we finish this game. But that means new rules, new pieces, and so on will be unlocked. And the way that the game plays will change up quite a bit. I'm only going to show you the first basic game on screen, but I will talk a little bit about how the game plays out, of course avoiding as many spoilers as possible in my final thoughts. And I will show you sort of some of the sealed components that are still in the box when I talk about the components at the end of this video. But that's basically all there is to show you. Hopefully that made sense, and if not, hopefully it does make sense moving forward as we get into gameplay. So let's go ahead and get into gameplay. Amato is going to be going first, so here we go.
I want to get that crate singer again.
Oh, you got a green. Where are you going to put the green guy? Can you reach it? All right, so green goes on green, and now you're going to take your turn. What are you going to do? 2 actions.
1 move.
All right, move 1.
And 2.
Okay, and 2 beat the zombie. So put that zombie there. And that's the end of your turn. My turn, rolling the die. Oh, I got green too. That's a little bit of a problem. So they're going that way. So I should be coming down to you to try and help you get that crate, but this zombie's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go up there, and I'm going to place that zombie there like that. Your turn. Red.
Do you want to just attack?
You did. All right, put him back. And what are you going to do? You got 2 actions.
1.
Oh. Put it there. And then?
2.
You're going to come up towards me? All right, my turn. Oh, blue, okay. Blue's all the way down there. Well, I'm going to let it be dangerous for right now. Because if I go 1, 2 right there, now it's your turn. Let's see what we're going to do. Oh, you rolled a red. Go ahead. Not a problem. So you pass to me for your first... Oh, no, that's you, right? That's you. So you took from me for your first action. What's your second action going to be? And in the first game, you had to give each other a high five when you locked those gates. In this game, when you get a crate into the center, we need to have a fist bump. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. Cool. So now it's my turn. We got one of the 4 crates in the center. Ooh, here's our first question mark. All right, so we're going to turn over one of these cards. And this says invasion. Oh, no, it says place each zombie horde in the line on the sewer of its color. The zombie hordes already in play stay where they are. So that's going to go into a discard pile.
Why
and that means purple. Yeah, why do I always have to get that one, right?
Yes.
That's always our first event, and that's a tough one. All right, so all of the zombies are out. My turn. I'm over here. I'm going to go this way and get rid of the green zombie.
Hopefully, no everyone's places.
And I'm going to come over this way because I can leave you to get these 2 guys over here, and I'll come for the purple one. You think? Good? All right, your turn. Green. Well, he's back. All right, what are you going to do?
1, 2.
Okay, put him there. You don't have to. All right, my turn. Rolling the die. Red. Guess what? We're just going to keep going back and forth. I don't know. Did I go back for green? No. I'm going to come down here and get purple. Like that. Because green's going to come this way. And if I'm here, I can protect things from them. Your turn. Uh-oh.
Question mark.
Question mark. Let's see what you got. Taxi. Taxi says, you may immediately place your hero on the space of your choice. Now you will see this one here has a trash can here. This card's going to be removed from the game as soon as it's being used, so this will never come back again. The other one, when this deck empties, we will shuffle the discards to make a new deck. So that card is gone from the game, and you can move anywhere you want to. But maybe you want to be where you are anyway. Yeah. All right, so one action is get rid of that guy. And then where are you going to go next?
Here.
Are you going up? Okay.
Taxi.
Wait, where were you just now? You were here, right?
Taxi.
Oh, no. You have to use the taxi when we did the event. So if you wanted to move, you had to move before, and you didn't. Okay. So now you got 1 space to move. You're going to go up? Careful. Good? Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought we were going to come for that guy. Green. Uh-oh. All right, well, that's fine. So I'll go 1. Get rid of him, and now maybe we can start working our way up that way. We'll see what happens. Go ahead. Red. Remember, we can't just keep fighting these zombies or the game's never going to end. What are you going to do?
1.
Yeah? You don't come up to me? Okay.
Because you did one mission and don't want anything.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think we're going to work on that. We need to get all the crates in there. It's never going to be perfect. Blue goes that way, which means then that I will come 1, 2. I can't fight it yet because I'm out of actions. But that's my turn. Don't roll a blue, please. Purple. There's purple. All right, what are your 2 actions? Come, why don't you go in the police office?
1, 2.
Okay, cool. So I have the donuts, but also I'm in the room with the blue. Let's hope they don't move. But if they do, you can wipe them out next turn. Uh-oh, they did move. All right, so blue moves in here, which means this is now overrun, which means we put that there like that. The zombie stays there. Now, if I roll blue, if my son rolls blue on his next turn, they will bounce on the trampoline up here, and they will overrun that location. But he can remove them as normal. Nothing happens to him. It just means that we're getting closer to the end game by that happening. All right, that was me, right? So I am going to pass there. Whoops. And then I am going to come towards purple because that is a potential problem. And if you don't roll blue, you can get rid of the zombie on your turn. Don't roll blue. Ah!
Beep, 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 beep.
All right, well, red gets overrun. Okay. Put that there like that. And that's a problem because now he's far away. All right, you get 2 actions. What are you going to do?
1, 2.
Are you chasing them? All right, let's see what we got. No blues, no blues. Question mark. Says assault. It says all zombie hordes on sewers advance 1 space. And this again is a remove from the game. Because the camera, wait, that's not on a sewer. That's not on a sewer. Just this guy moves forward. They are in a room, not a sewer, so that's safe. Which means I will come here and get rid of that purple zombie, because we're gonna have to figure out where we're meeting up next. Your turn. Blue again! You're gonna destroy the game. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're still alive for a little bit. All right, your turn.
I'm chasing.
1, 2.
I'm chasing them.
Okay, my turn.
Yes.
No blues. No blues. This could be the end of the game. And it's a question mark. Okay, let's see. What does the event say? Event says, Viva la siesta. On your turn, the zombies do nothing. That's great, except that doesn't really change too much. I will be going, I'm just going to go there and stop. Because probably you go in there and get rid of the zombie, and then I can take that crate on my next turn. Don't roll blue. Red, that's good. All right. Your 2 actions are?
1,
And then?
2.
2 means what? Beat that zombie finally so he stops bouncing around all over the place?
Yes.
Good idea. Put them there, and that's your turn, right? All right, let's see what we got. No more zombies out, so this is good for right now. I rolled a purple. Huh? Oh, there is a red guy over there. I forgot about that. Well, I got a purple, but I don't really care because I'm going to take 1, 2. Now we've got 3 of the 4 crates in there. And we're not in too much problem if this purple guy is safe. Question mark. Says, truce. Which says, you're not allowed to attack a zombie horde this turn. Ah, that's not very good. It is a trasher. That goes away.
Yay.
But you can't hurt any zombies, so where are you going to go this turn?
I don't care. You go ahead and either one.
Wait. Why are you going that way?
Because I'll get this one.
Yeah, but what if we only need this to win the game? Don't waste your time going all over there. Okay. Good? All right, my turn. Rolling is blue. But luckily, they're not bouncing around anymore. They're over there. Oh, we win. Because even if the zombies move, they only move 1 space. They're not going to get to a building. I'm going to take 2 actions. 1, 2. Roll the dice and see what happens. But I think we got this. Oh, no. Dice went all the way over there, but it is a question mark. Last event. So now you've seen all the event cards. It says, next. Which says, place the next zombie horde in the line onto the sewer of its color, which is the only green guy. All the zombies are on the board, but take your turn.
1,
Take the crate, pass the crate. Guess what we forgot to do before? Fist bump. And that means, guess what?
We won.
We won. That's awesome. Congratulations. All right, so when you win the game, let me clear this off just a little bit to the side here, because when you win the game, inside the rule book, and I should have shown this to you before, because there is a piece that I want to show you that I didn't, is there is a story to this game which is slightly more story than the original game, because there is this idea of a comic book, and I wanted to show this at the beginning, and I forgot to, so I'll show it to you right now. But it says, chased out of the school, the zombies have established a base in the sewers and are wreaking havoc throughout the town. The time for hiding is over. You must find the 4 ingredients to prepare an antidote that will bring the zombies back to their human form. So you see, we are holed up in the school, which is the center yellow room on the board. And we're sort of formulating a plan, which is what we need the popcorn, the sort of medicine, ketchup, and donuts to do. And they're sort of plotting against us as well. But you'll see that there is this story that's going to come out. But the reason I'm showing you this is a couple of reasons. First things first, when you finish, and here are some advanced rules that'll come out later, you have 2 things to do. Number 1, on the back of the book, there are 2 tracks. There's a progress track here that every time you play the game, whether you win or lose, you're going to place one of these brain stickers out. We'll do that in just a second. Then also there are missions you can complete, and any mission you complete, you're going to place a trophy on here. But you're only allowed to complete 1 mission each time you play the game. And then you'll see up here, this is slightly different than Zombie Kids. The missions have sort of groupings. So there's the first steps grouping and the prestige grouping. When you've completed all of the missions in a single grouping, you'll place a badge here and then also place a badge on this track. So there are numbered envelopes I'm unlocking for this. and then there are sort of lettered envelopes that we'll be unlocking for those mission groupings. So I will place, or we will place, a brain on here in just a minute, but first things first, looking at the missions. Win a game, we could choose that one, but that's easy, so let's see if we've accomplished any of the other things. Win a game in which at least one player used the transfer action twice on one of their turns. We did. In fact, Amata just finished the game using the transfer action twice. Win a game in which all players used the move action twice on one of their turns. We just did that two turns ago as well. Win a game with no overrun buildings. We definitely didn't do that.
Okay, we get the overrun 3.
Yeah, we have 3 of 4. Win a game delivering the ingredients in this exact order. Medicine, donut, ketchup, popcorn. We didn't do that. Win 3 games in a row. Well, we didn't, but that does mean we get to mark one of these in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so do you want to do that? Go ahead and check off that first circle. And the way that's going to work is if we do lose a game between now and getting our 3rd win, we will erase those checks, but right now we do have 1 check. All right, so first things first. Which of those missions do you want to complete? Win a game with double transfer, win a game with double move.
First.
The first one's easy. We can always win a game.
Then
The second one? All right, so again, we're going to place a trophy sticker. You want to do that?
yes.
Right there on that spot. No, oh yeah, that's right, yep. And then on the back, we're going to place a brain first for just playing the game. And because we just placed a mission, you'll see they're all sort of double sets. That's because one goes on the mission itself, and then one goes on this tracker on the back page. Go ahead. So you'll see we haven't unlocked anything this time, but the next time we play, we will get a brain, and if we finish another mission, we will unlock our first envelope. I'm not going to show any of that to you, but I will show you that in addition to the missions we start with, there's lots of space for more new missions. There's also lots of space in this book for different rules that are going to come out, which means the game will get quite a bit more complicated going through. And again, there's also these spaces for story to happen as we're playing through. So there is going to be a bit of a legacy sort of campaign story happening as we're playing through and unlocking new rules, which is exciting because they didn't really have that story progression in Zombie Kids. So that's basically everything in there. There is, again, a stack of envelopes. I'm not going to show you anything about these envelopes because they are a secret, and the secret is part of the fun of the game. But that's basically it. Taking a look quickly at the components. This time there is only a single-sided board. You do not play with a different board for different player counts. Instead, as you saw with the 2-player variant, there is just one kid that stays inside that center space. Otherwise, the standees, the artwork is just as awesome as it was in the original game. I continue to really enjoy the character design. All of these are new characters from Zombie Kids. And it's my understanding that there's a potential way to mix the 2 games together from the internet. There's some rules you can download. You have to have progressed far enough in each of the 2 games. These crates are new. They're really cool. They're plastic crates. You did have to put the sticker on the top, but they look really cool. They feel really cool. Great components there. The dice, I believe, feel to me to be sort of screen printed. They are not stickered dice. This is part of the die. Very, very poppy colors, very nice looking die. The zombies themselves, actually, let me show you the zombies up close. First, we've got this clown from the arcade, a police officer from the police station. I don't know what this guy is. He looks like a mechanic that got hurt with his tools. And then this lady who looks like a waitress, maybe from the restaurant. Really, really cool character design. Again, I continue to really enjoy it. And looking a little bit more closely at the 4 overrun locations, really cool how they sort of add in all of this zombie artwork to the locations when they are overrun. Again, really big fan of how this game looks. And when we finish playing through the whole thing, I'll come back and tell you exactly how we feel about how the whole thing plays as well. So that's basically all I have to show you about the components. Maybe back up top and I'll let you know what I felt about the entire experience. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that playthrough and overview of the game, and I do want to say hello to Amato. This is his first time joining me a little bit in one of my videos, so that was fun as well. This is now the second game in this sort of series from Scorpion Masqué and from Annick Lobet. This now being a sort of growth, more complicated, more gamery version or change of that original Zombie Kids game. But this is actually the third game in the series in a different sort of order, because there was also the flashback sort of escape room puzzle style kind of game using different sort of viewpoints of different characters in the world to solve puzzles and answer questions. Flashback Zombie Kids. I have covered both Zombie Kids Evolution and Flashback Zombie Kids on this channel in the past. I will put a link right here for the for the Zombie Kids Evolution, because this one is a direct follow-up to that if you're interested in seeing. And I will leave links to both of them down below in the description as well if you'd rather click there to get over to those videos. But in any case, let me sort of bridge the gap from Zombie Kids Evolution into Zombie Teenz Evolution, because both of these are sort of family weight cooperative crisis management style games, whereas the original Zombie Kids Evolution, you are working as a team sort of in a school trying to block the zombies out of the school, closing all of the gates of the school off to keep the zombies out. Flashback Zombie Kids continues that, sort of giving you more of the story of those kids sort of expelling the zombies and keeping the zombies out of the school. Now in Zombie Teenz, rather than working to block off the zombies and keep them out, what you're actually doing is now these teens are going out into the town surrounding this school and trying to sort of bring back supplies from different buildings in town to the school, ultimately story-wise to use those supplies to come up with some kind of sort of potion to change the zombies back into regular people again. So in this case, you're still moving people around a map, but instead of trying to get to certain locations to block things off, you're instead trying to go to certain locations to sort of pass crates from that location through the town, ultimately to the school in the center of the board. So the way that the game works is slightly different. You're still moving and attacking on your turn. This time you get two actions. Instead of a move and then a possible attack, you get to choose how you're going to use your two actions. So the two actions could be a move, could be an attack, or could be a passing of a crate. And you're allowed to use any of those actions 2 times. So you can do one of each or 2 of the same action. And the moving and attacking is going to work just like it did in Zombie Kids, meaning you're moving to an adjacent location, and if you're sharing a space with a zombie, you can remove them from the board. Now, just like Zombie Kids, also at the beginning of your turn, you're rolling dice to see how the zombies get seated onto the board. And in this case, if you roll the same color twice, that zombie is sort of moving forward 1 space. And if the zombie moves forward 2 spaces, they will get to one of those 4 buildings in the corners of the board. And should that happen, that building then is overrun by zombies. And if all 4 of those buildings get overrun, that triggers then the end of the game. So the sort of progression of the zombies and the interaction of the zombies is slightly different. But also that puzzle is this passing of the crates. And the way that works is also very unique. In order to pass a crate from one space to another, you need to have a person in each of those 2 spaces. And it doesn't matter who's doing the passing. You can either sort of retrieve the crate from somebody next to you on your turn, or pass the crate from somebody next to you on your turn. So you're sort of trying to get a chain of people from a building to an adjacent space and then ultimately into that school in the center of the board. And this is also where the differentiation is going to come in player count here, because in the other game we had a different map depending on the number of players playing, because they needed more connections between spaces. In this case, you're always playing on the same map. The only change from 2, 3, and 4 players is that in the 2-player game, there is an additional sort of dummy player that stays in the school at all times that can be passed to at any time, because otherwise it would be really hard to sort of pass out and then swap and then switch to a different location and pass again. And while it can be done, it's not sort of the core rules of this game. So anyway, you're trying to move around, passing these crates, getting them into the center, trying to sort of eliminate zombies whenever possible so that the buildings in the corners don't get overrun. And then if you manage to get all 4 crates into the middle, you win. Or if all 4 locations are overrun, you lose. So at its core, There's a little bit more complexity with the sort of spatial puzzle of how the crates are being passed around, but it's not really that much different than Zombie Kids. It just makes you think in a slightly different way. And yeah, it might require a slightly older child to play through the game with, but I will say that I've played through this entire game now with my 6-year-old son. So even at 6 years old, if your child is a gamer, means they're playing a lot of these games and they get the kind of rhythms that these games have, they should still be able to play this pretty well, even if they're slightly younger like my son is. And of course, because this is a cooperative game and everything is open information, you can always help sort of deal with any kind of situation that might cause confusion or might require a little bit more strategic or tactical thinking at any given time to do well in this game. But I have to say that I'm really, really enjoying this. And more than that, the other things that this does to sort of elevate the experience over Zombie Kids are also really great, because already Zombie Kids, and now this one again, sort of give you a legacy experience where throughout the game you're placing stickers every time you play the game, whether you win or lose, and also placing stickers when you sort of accomplish specific twists, dealing with the game and certain thing, accomplishing certain things at certain times, and you're placing stickers and opening envelopes. And that was really fun in the original game because it's always fun to unlock things and have the game change while you're playing. But they've sort of taken that to another level this time. Last time, everything you did, meaning playing the game, completing those sort of accomplishments along the way, achievements along the way, were unlocking envelopes. And then occasionally along the way, as you did certain things in some of those envelopes, were sort of stickers that gave you sort of level ups or badges of some kind to sort of give yourself the feeling of having accomplished things as you went through. In this case, they've actually split things into 2 different categories. So there are 2 different sets of envelopes that you're going to be opening depending on what you're doing. One of those sets is the same as the original Zombie Kids in that every time you play the game, you're putting out a sticker, and every time you do one of those achievements, you're putting out a sticker, and those are going to open those sort of first set of envelopes. The other set of envelopes is sort of tied into that badge system from the original game, and what that means is, before in the original game, if you completed all of the missions in a certain sort of category, you would get an additional trophy to place out on that track. In this case, whenever you finish one of those categories, you get a badge. And the badges have their own track on the back of the board, or the back of the rule book, that also unlock a different set of envelopes. So those badges are going to also sort of give you different kinds of maybe bigger changes or different kinds of changes to the game, which make things really cool because now you've sort of got these 2 different tracks and these 2 different ways you can focus on to unlock these envelopes. Because what that means is, for younger kids who may have struggles with those missions and getting those badges, they're still going to be able to unlock a bunch of stuff just by playing the game and doing some of those little missions. Whereas for somebody who wants a bigger challenge in this game, they can focus on getting more of those badges, really sort of honing in on specific challenges along the way to unlock some other different stuff that also adds in a bit more challenge. And just like Zombie Kids, they're going to add a variety of different things that change up the characters in the game, that change up the zombies in the game, that add in new rules and actually change the way that the game plays throughout the game. But one more thing that was fun that connected to these badges is that in the original game, once you'd finished the entire game, it gave you a couple of like variants that you could play, that if you played this way, you could completely change the rules and play in a different way. Well, in this case, some of the unlocks, and I don't want to say too much, actually add those variants in during the sort of core gameplay of this game. And some of those badges that you need, some of those challenges you need to sort of achieve in order to get the badges unlocked for that secondary track are tied into these variants. So now they're forcing you to try these variants in order to unlock even more content in the game, which I really appreciated because when we got to the end of the Zombie Kids and we activated or unlocked those variants, it was kind of like we'd already finished the game. So my son didn't have as much pull to go back to the game and try out those variants because, well, there's nothing else to unlock. We've kind of done it all. If we have some time and we're not playing another new game that we'd rather be playing, maybe we'll go back and play those variants. But in this case, having the variants included as sort of part of this core loop of unlocking stuff meant that he got a chance or was more motivated to try out some of these variants. And we really did enjoy how the gameplay changed up with these more major rule twists brought on by these challenges that we had to unlock or had to complete in order to unlock all of the content in the box. And I have to say that unlocking all of the content in the box was a whole lot of fun, and I think there was more excitement and more discovery in this one than there was in the original Zombie Kids. Couple of things. One is the story stickers this time. I really love this universe, and I really love the hints of story you got in Zombie Kids, but I was a big fan of all of the story that came out in the flashback Zombie Kids game. So to have those story stickers and having a real narrative unfolding through this game as you unlock stuff really made this even more exciting to play through the entire thing. Also, there were a couple additional sort of major variants on how this game plays, especially one that I'm not going to ruin at all that comes in very late in the unlocks. That completely changes the game into something else. We haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm very excited to try that one out as well. Very exciting. Also, one more cool thing about this game, because this is now the second game in the series, there's actually online on the Scorpion Masqué website some rules that allow you to use some of the characters from Zombie Kids in this game and to use some of the stuff from this game in the original Zombie Kids game as well. Again, I haven't had a chance to try them out, but it's really clever how they connected the games and allowed you to sort of incorporate the content. And even more than that, there are a series of variant sort of alternate rules or alternate challenges that you can do. I think there are 3 of them on their website that allow you to use content from both of the games and then sort of tweak up the rules in specific ways that uses both of those pieces of stuff from the 2 games. So even more legs given to this series to connect everything together. Really big fan of everything I'm seeing here. And honestly, this game is better than Zombie Kids for sure. The unlocks are a little bit more exciting, a little bit more fun than Zombie Kids for sure, but it's all universe and it all sort of ties in this story. So I probably would still recommend, if you're interested in it, to start with the Zombie Kids game first, play through all of that, and then transition to this, because it really does continue to build. And again, it does connect back both narratively and with the ability to integrate both of the games together. Also, if you are interested in sort of puzzly kind of search kind of games, definitely check out the flashback game. My hope is that there's more coming. It's been a while since there's been anything new in this series. There is another game called Turbo Kids that focuses just on the kids, and it's sort of a cooperative race game. But I want more of this zombie stuff, because without spoiling anything, there is something that shows up at the end of Flashback Zombie Kids, and that also makes an appearance in this that makes it feel like there's just a bit more story to be told, and I want to see what that story is. So fingers crossed that there's more stuff coming from this world, because I've loved everything I've seen so far in this universe. And yeah, this game has been a great experience, and this one, even more than Zombie Kids, has quite a bit of life to it after you've finished unlocking all of the stuff in this game. So this absolutely will stay on the shelf and is very much more likely to be played again over the Zombie Kids Evolution game, which even on its own has some stuff that still allows it to have legs and continue going after you finish the sort of campaign of the game. In any case, big fan of this game, big fan of this universe. I hope that this video was helpful for you. As always, if you did enjoy this video, I do ask that you like, subscribe, and click the bell icon below. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks.